What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Trailer Park Live right here on the 2nd Street Marvel, where we're coming at you live every single Friday night at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is YouTube's #1 premier primetime show. Thank you all so much for being here. I, of course, am your host, Trinity. If you are a returning viewer, thank you all so much for being here. You know you guys are the absolute best, and you guys are what makes this show Now, if you are a new viewer, what I typically do is I go over some of the comic books that I pulled for the week, and then we get in and, I just interact with you all in the live chats as I talk about some of the topics that I want to cover for today. And I can tell you, we've got one hell of a show planned for you right here tonight, so make sure that you stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed and all that good stuff that I'm supposed to tell you, because you know what? Maybe you just don't remember, maybe you just don't get it. I don't know what the deal is. It happens to everybody from time to time, but make sure you're all of that stuff, okay? So, getting right into it like we do every single everybody, welcome back to the Trailer Park Live right here on the 2nd Street Marvel, where we're coming at you live every single Friday night at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, if this is your first time here, thank you all so much for being here, and if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for being here as well. Now, what I typically do is go over some of the comic books that I pulled for the week, and then I get in and interact with you all as I talk about, just different topics, maybe things that have happened throughout the week, or, all that kind of good stuff. And we're going to start off tonight's show no different than we do any other show. But first, I want to give a big shout out to all of our Patreon supporters here on the channel. There are links down in the description where you can go and become a monthly Patreon supporter. We do have some exclusive content over there for our Patreon supporters, and because we appreciate you all, and going to be bringing more content over there for that. Now, getting right into the comic books that I have to talk about for the week. The first one I want to talk about is Thor issue #3. Guys, if you guys haven't been reading Thor, I would suggest you guys go pick this up. You're only 3 issues in. You can probably still find all of these at your local comic book shop. Been a pretty good series so far, being written by Donny Cates, and I'm telling you, this Thor issue #3, I thought it was pretty good. Beta Ray Bill came in and had a pretty big battle with Thor. They kind of, went back and forth, and it wasn't just a battle of, just people just going at it because they were mad at each other and they hated each other, and it wasn't a war. It wasn't a war of hate, I guess, if you will, or discontent with each other. It was Beta Ray Bill was out to, maybe out after a little bit of vengeance, and Thor has a job to do along with Galactus to save the universe. So they kind of got into it in that sense, because Thor was kind of standing in his way of fighting Galactus, because he couldn't let that happen because they got more important things at hand. But the battle happened. It was a pretty good battle. I enjoyed seeing this fight, and the way it ended was really great. Lady Sif steps in, and she looks all hella pissed off and says, "Hey, enough, kids, enough." It was a pretty good issue. I think it's one, if you guys aren't keeping up with these things, go out to your local comic book shop and check it out. Thor is definitely worth reading right now. Donny Cates is writing that, and Donny Cates has been putting in some work. Apparently, he's a pretty decent writer. I don't read enough of his work, I've read this, and, I was reading the previous Guardians run, and I guess, the Cosmic Ghost Rider, so maybe I've read a little bit, but anyway, you know what I'm getting at. He's a pretty good writer, and I've really been enjoying Thor, and I'm not much of a big Thor fan. So the next ones we're going to go ahead and get into here is Oh, you know what? And by the way, maybe I should tell you guys before I continue on. Make sure you listen up for details on how to get entered into a giveaway that I'm going to be doing very soon here on the channel. There's a giveaway. I'm giving away free stuff, free comic books, free shit, guys. Pay attention. Pay attention. We're gonna continue on with the Dawn of X. These titles right here, the X-Men. I got both of these covers right here because I thought they were both good. I mean, this one right here is actually pretty legit anyway, the regular cover. But I also got this variant cover as well. Look at that. That's just a nice cover. That's just a beautiful cover if you ask me. X-Men number 6, guys. If you haven't been keeping up with the Dawn of X, you know, I mean, there's a lot of books, so I get it. You know, you got to probably pick and choose certain ones. This X-Men issue number 6, if you ask me, is one that if you've been keeping up or haven't been keeping up with it, if you've dropped X-Men, you just reading X-Force because that's the best title of them all, and just Marauders because it's probably the second best, you know, go out 6 of X-Men. It's very good. Fills in some, you know, and that's one thing I've liked about these issues lately with like the X-Men and, you know, all these Dawn of X issues lately is I think last week and this week they're actually starting to tie back in to things that were happening in House of X and Powers of X, which has been really great. They've really stepped up their mutant game here in Marvel with these X titles. No different than what they've done here with X-Force issue number 7, guys. This is my favorite title out of the Dawn of X titles, and this one's really good. Domino, we've seen like this whole comic, this whole series is kind of tale. It's kind of really great with a lot of action, man. I'm telling you. But what we've seen at one point, I believe it was in issue number 2, we seen Domino. It might have been issue number 1. Domino was going to trying to infiltrate this place, and she ended up getting kidnapped. You know, they found out who she was, they knew who she was, and they took her and they had her in this test tube thing. But they took skin grafts off of her and were using them for different things for their own people. These Reavers were. Well, she's been kind of not having bad luck lately, but her luck just doesn't seem to be the same. And there seems to be somebody else out there in the world with a lot of luck. So she ends up trying to kind of just like chasing down this shadow assassin, if you will, that's kind of been taking out these people who are, I guess you could say, mutant sympathizers. And with the help of Sage, she finds out, you know, not who it is, but you know, a good place to track them down. And the way this book ends is really great. You know, we basically find out that there is a new enemy here. There's a new bad guy, a new villain, if you will. But who exactly is this villain? Great stuff here coming out of X-Force, guys. You know, one of my favorite titles coming out of the Dawn of X titles that are out right now. I'm telling you guys, if you guys aren't keeping up with those, you need to go check them out. The ones you need to pay attention to are X-Force, Marauders, and X-Men. If you can keep up with 3 of those ones, you're good to go. The others, there's some good and some bad to go with all the rest of them. They recently started X-Men and Fantastic Four that came out last week. We talked a little bit about that. Very good stuff. So the next one I'm going to talk about here, guys, is this one came out this week. That's Hawkman issue number 21. I actually just got into this due to Comic Man Jake here on YouTube. He's a guy I met here when I first started doing YouTube. He's a comic book guy. He loves his DC stuff, and he definitely loves his Hawkman. And he suggested this to me, and I finally broke down and I started picking it up. And guys, I've really enjoyed Hawkman. I haven't got to read issue number 21 yet, but you know what? The writer here on this book is Robert Venditti, and Robert Venditti has been doing a great job writing Hawkman. I didn't realize how great of a job he was doing until I heard from a couple other people. I believe it was Longbox Diving was actually talking about Hawkman and kind of what he did with this character. Was there's all these other different timelines and everything with this character, and he kind of took and he made a good cohesive story out of all of them to tie into what we're getting right now. And I think that's around where I jumped on board, because I started reading at issue 10. And, you know, it's been a really great series. I want to go buy the first maybe 1 or 2 trade paperbacks of this to get caught up on those stories. But Robert Venditti's been doing a really good job with Hawkman. And I still have to read this issue, but it's been so good. I'm looking forward to reading it. But I bring that up because he actually just started writing Justice League last week. Issue number 40 came out. And he started writing this one, and guys, I thought this was a really good issue. I finally got it read, and it was good. It was actually pretty good. Like I've kind of felt, you know, it was kind of the sort of a beginning of a new arc here, I guess, if you will. And I kind of got in and into the action here and everything, and I didn't really feel like I missed anything. Like I'm missing a whole lot that I need to know or anything. Like I figure what's been going on here, I will probably find out more about in future issues as it kind of goes on. And I'm telling you, I thought, so that's one thing I think a good writer can do. If you got a good writer out there, like Jonathan Hickman is kind of overseeing the X-Men stuff, and he's doing a good job keeping an eye on that. Robert Venditti over here doing a good job taking Hawkman and kind of tying in all these origins of him and making it one cohesive story. And it seems like here in Justice League, he's probably going to be taking off and writing a good next arc for this series. So I can't wait to continue reading this one. Now, the next ones I want to talk about, we're probably going to talk a little bit more about these particular books here in the show, and maybe even we'll make this the subject of tomorrow's Saturday Comics and Mayhem, or whatever I call that show. I can't remember what I called it. But the first one is here on Boom Studios Comics. That's Alienated, issue number 1. Now, this one is who is it? Written by Simon Spurrier, illustrated by Chris Woolridge, colored by Andre May, lettered by the hard-working Jim Campbell. I'll show you those names right there. You can go ahead and take a look at those. And I got this cover. I'm not sure which cover this is. If this is the A cover, the B cover, the C cover, the D cover. Hell, I don't know. It's a cover, damn it. This one right here is so much I could say, so much I want to dive into in this book. There's these 3 kids that are kind of I don't know. I can't even say that they're outcasts. They all feel they're not outcasts. They all feel somewhat alienated from other kids out there. And they all happen to be, they all go to school together. They're all teenagers. They all, happen to be walking through the park one day. Walking through the park. I don't know. It sounds like a song. They're all happen to be walking through the park one day. I believe they were on their way to school, maybe. Maybe they were on their way home. And they come across this pod, this cocoon that was hanging in this tree. And one of them touched it. And what happened was basically they all became bound at that point in mind. And they can read each other's thoughts. And they're basically in each other's minds. They're basically connected through their mind, but through telepathic abilities, and so they're basically, they all know each other. So it's really cool in that sense. Now, the one thing is there's some of the things around here that I want to say. We'll probably have to talk a little bit more because we were talking on the morning movie chat about some of this kinds of stuff too. These 3 kids, like there's one of these kids here, he's making these, he's making like YouTube videos and uploading them and trying to get followers and all this stuff. And he's doing some kind of crazy kind of, he's got his character and everything. He's wearing a mask and anyway. Anyway, there's that's the first kid. He's sitting there doing his thing. The next one is this other girl. And the first kid, his name is Samuel. Then we got Samantha here, who she's just like, we don't know, for whatever reason, she just wants to get the hell out of town. She wants to graduate school, get out of town, be an adult, and leave. Just leave wherever she's at. And then the other kid here, Samir, he's one of those guys who's trying to get everybody to like him. He's gay. He's kind of flamboyant, and he just wants to fit in with everybody. You know what I mean? He's like, I don't know. This character is, probably a lot of these kids probably are reflective of kids that are out there in our world out there. People just, people out there in different walks of life. The thing is, I like this book. This issue number 1 was very good. Here's the thing, like, when it comes to, people talk about putting personal politics and things like that, the blue-haired weirdos and all that kinds of stuff, all those agenda kind of things that we hear about in comic books. A lot of that's here, but I feel like there's a lot at play here with this book and these characters and some of the things that's going on. Because we even got this one kid in here he's your typical Trump supporter. He's your typical Trump supporter. Oh, yeah, he's such a bad guy. He's such a bad kid. But he's going through here being an asshole to everybody. Basically, oh, there he is, right there. There he is, right there. That's the Trump supporter in this. That's the Trump supporter in this book. This is this kid. So it's dealing with different social dynamics and things like that, and I find that really interesting. And I'm curious to where this goes, because I have, different feelings about how I feel about some of the stuff in this book. Not like anything crazy, because like they're taking all these different viewpoints and kind of putting it in this one book, and I'm like, where is this going? It's intriguing in that way, because all these kids seem to be a little bit different from each other, and I like it. I like it. I don't know. Like I said, it was definitely really weird, but maybe we'll talk a little bit more about that on the comic show tomorrow. But yeah, I want to talk a little bit more about that one, because there's so much more I want to say. But anything I have to say, I mean, I could always, like it's just the story. I don't know. But definitely, I thought that Alienated issue number 1 was a good one. And then the next one I have here is Undone by Blood, or the Shadow of a Wanted Man, issue number 1. This one is on Aftershock Comics, and I was kind of interested in this one because it's being written by Lonnie Nadler and Zach Thompson. These guys have worked several times together. They've collaborated. The art is Sammy Cavella. This is Sammy Cavella. I know he actually just was doing the art in Machine Gun Wizards. It was originally Tommy Gun Wizards, then for whatever reason they rebranded it to Machine Gun Wizards over on Dark Horse Comics. And then Jason Wordie is the letterer. I know Jason Wordie was the the colorist. And Jason Wordie was the colorist for the book that I am reading right now, one of my favorites of last year, and that was Resonant over on Vault Comics. And Hassan Atsmani El How, I'm sure I butchered his name, is he's the letterer, and he letters a lot of books too. He's as hardworking as the hardworking Jim Campbell, you know what I'm saying? But Lonnie Nadler here, the reason I wanted to bring this one up, this one is about a girl. It takes place in like 1971. She shows up to this little town, and it seems like she's got revenge on her mind as she's trying to track down the people who supposedly killed this whole family. Maybe it's her family, maybe it isn't, but I'm pretty sure that it is, right? She's trying to track these people down in this town in 1971. She's got I don't know. I just the thing I question here is the timeline of this, because I'm not sure it was 1971. Did people dress all punk rock and everything? I don't know. But she shows up into this town looking for answers, kicking people's asses, going into the bar and just beating people up. She's a badass, right? But at the same time, she's also reading this book. She's reading this book that we learn here at the very beginning, about this cowboy who was going out doing the same thing, exacting some revenge for some people who had killed his family as well. So there's a little bit going on here. She's reading this novel, and she's also reading about this cowboy. Now the thing here is, you get towards the back of the book, and I thought this book was actually, I'm probably going to read issue number 2, continue with this one, see how it is. We get to the back of the book here, and we get like these 4 pages. We get these 4 pages from this novel that she's reading here, chapter 4. We get those 2 pages, and then there's these 2 pages right here, and it's just like just these pages like it's written in a novel. And I got to tell you, Lonnie Nadler is writing another book over on Vault Comics right now, called Black Stars Above. And recently issue number 3 came out. I still haven't dropped my review on it, but he done the same thing in this book as in this one, in Black Stars Above. I was almost expecting it, but he had this thing, like it was like 8 pages worth of like stuff out of this journal. And you know what? Normally, you guys know here on the channel, I talk a lot about what they do in the X books with the white pages and all that stuff, like give me the art and stuff like that instead of this. Yes, and I still stand behind that. Although I've got to say, when it came to Black Stars Above, I got to admit I was halfway expecting it, because it reads like a novel, and it's really telling that. So but also when I read it, I didn't fall asleep reading it. I was pretty interested. Some of those white pages, they get me. They really do, over in the X books. And then here in Undone by Blood, we're getting these pages out of this book, kind of written like a novel. And I read them, and I thought I was into it at the same time. It was adding to the story. And not that those ones in the X books don't add to the story, but I can see here now that Lonnie Nadler has 2 titles that he has done this in, where he's writing, because maybe he just needs to be writing just novels instead of concentrating on comic books. I don't know, but I can tell you that both of these stories have actually been pretty good. Black Stars Above by Lonnie Nadler over on Vault Comics has actually been a pretty good read, and Undone by Blood, or The Shadow of a Wanted Man, is a very good series as well. Now, like I said, the main character is female. She's going in here, kind of kicking all these dudes' butts. It's a little, it's a little bit over the top. You can see some of that art there. You know, I mean, but it's a revenge story, and when you're going out for revenge, you're out there, you're trying to make things happen, and you're running on adrenaline and things like that, so you can do these kinds of things. You can be larger than life. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. But altogether, I thought Undone by Blood was a pretty good issue, and we'll probably talk a little bit more about those here in the chat here a little bit later on. Now, as I said, I am going to be doing a giveaway, guys. I'm going to be giving away a copy of Black Widow No Restraints Play. All you have to do to get entered into that is go back to my video that I did a few weeks ago talking about the new Black Widow series that was announced by Marvel Comics. In that video, I tell you how to get entered into the giveaway. I will leave a link down in the description of this video. I will leave a link in the comments section so you can go check it out. So you can go check out that video to get entered into this, because this is my favorite comic book of last year. This is Black Widow No Restraints Play, written by Jen and Sylvia Saska. They are awesome writers. They are awesome directors. They are awesome ladies. You should go check them out on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. Jen and Sylvia Saska at Twisted Twins. They wrote this book. Natasha Romanoff, she's in Madripoor. She's got a thirst for blood. She's out killing human traffickers and child molesters. How could you not want to see this? I'm telling you, this is my favorite book of last year, and to get entered into that giveaway, you got to go watch that video, and I tell you how to get entered into it. I'm going to be giving it away on May 1st. On May 1st, I'm giving a copy of this away, so make sure you go and check that out and get entered into that giveaway. But guys, that's all I've got for my comic books here today. We're going to go ahead and get into a few things. I'm going to end this video here, hop onto the computer, and we'll continue from there. As you guys know, I like to do these, so it's a nice edited video, so you guys can see, if this is your first time here, you get a kind of general look at how most of my videos normally look, the camera quality and things like that. And soon enough, thanks to all the people sending in super chats, I will have a capture card here, so then you guys can probably get this good a picture all the time. So let's go ahead and get into the rest of the show. I think we're there now. Sorry, I had the soundboard was hooked up to the computer and it was all crazy. I hope you're all having a good night. Thank you all so much for being here, guys. And yeah, got some comic books read for the week. It's been I don't know, pretty good week in comics tonight. We got a $2 super chat from Perry Comics. Perry Comics says this Second Street guy isn't half bad. Yeah, not half bad. Not half bad, not half good. I guess somewhere right there in the middle, I guess. I don't know. Not half bad, not half good. And speaking of which, in case you guys don't know, Perry's not a very nice guy. What he does, in case you guys don't know who Perry Comics is, what he does is he does a lot of these live streams where he just basically goes out there and talks a lot of crap about a lot of comic book content creators. And that's all he does. Yeah, he just talks a lot of crap about, just through his whole video. Like, he sits there and watches their videos and talks crap about them all as he's sitting there just laughing at them. And everybody in his chats and everything. He's a bad guy. He's a bad guy. I went to his channel one day and I'm not sure. I'm guessing this is why he's saying I was a first time viewer and a last time viewer. And I hope he enjoyed the $5. Oh man, no, that's some funny stuff. Did I mention that this morning too? I think I did. Very funny stuff, man. Hilarious stuff. So I hope you're all having a good night. We got Fanjecture here in the house. Wookiee Supremacy is here. LB from the Lonely Banter. Gary North. Let's see who else. Sorry. Oh yeah, that was me. James from DKOT Rebels. Flaky Anthony. Thank you so much for being here. Yes, definitely shouted out the Patreon supporters before you, LB. You could donate $1 as well and get your name shouted out in there. Fatal J, what's up, my brother? Hope you're doing good today. Oh, you like that shirt? You like that Cartman shirt I got on going on right there? Yeah, pretty nice, man. Hope you're doing well, man. Doing the I was gonna say I was watching your Snyder Cut video earlier Been keeping up on those, dude. You crack me up, bro. Hey, if that's what gets them talking, them Snyder Cut videos, shoot, make a Snyder Cut video, dude. Hey, it's better than going on and on about Captain Marvel, right? um, Wookiee Supremacy is. Oh, I already said Wookiee Supremacy, but thank you so much for being here too, Wookiee. Dang, man. Let's see who else we got in here. Who else we got? I seen somebody in here. RC Scott says Megadeth and Lamb of God are touring this summer. Are you in? That sounds like a great tour, man. It really kind of depends on where it's at, you know, because I don't like going to outdoor shows. You know, I like doing indoor shows. It's just a little more small, a little more intimate. It's really nice. Gary North says. I picked up the Gwen Stacy J. Scott Campbell cover and Wonder Woman 751 Jenny Frison variant cover this week. Nice. You know what? Hey, I got that. I actually got that same cover. Gary, I think I got that same cover that you're talking about. Yeah, right there. Right there. Yeah, that J. Scott Campbell variant, man. That's a nice one. It's a nice one. It was my favorite of all of them. You know, there was that other one too that a lot of people were looking. That a lot of people liked too. The one where it almost looked like a photo because it was kind of like blurry. It kind of looked like, I don't know. It almost looked like something maybe from like Into the Spider-Verse or something like that. You know what I mean? But nice. And yeah, you know, I also, you know, there. I'm not sure if you were here earlier when I was talking about the Hawkman. I got Hawkman issue number 21. I've been reading more DC, guys. I've been reading more DC. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good thing, right? Reading more DC. Wookiee Supremacy says Ren and Stimpy are the ones who showed me my calling. I sell rubber nipples. Nice. A live action Ren and Stimpy might be low key lit. I don't know, man. I don't know. Perp, did you? And thank you so much for being here, Perp. Did you go see Sonic? Did you go see Sonic the Hedgehog? You know what I'm gonna do, guys? I'm going to go buy tickets to that movie and not go. I'm just going to go buy tickets and not go just to support that movie. Because that's what I want to do with my money. And you know what? Fuck anybody who says I can't do that with my money. Right? Because they're assholes if they say I can't do that with my money. And they're assholes if they make fun of me just because I buy tickets to movies with no intention of going to see the movies just to support the movie. James says, "What rolls downstairs alone or in pairs over your neighbor's dog?" Oh, oh yeah, that's oh man, it's been so long, dude. It's been so long. Um, I still want to Don't Whiz on the Electric Fence real game. Yeah, that would be nice. I used to have that soundtrack. RC Scott says, do you have any rubber walrus protectors?" Terrazon says, "Oops, I'm late." Ooh. DKOT James says $2 sends $2 through Super Chat, says, "I want a wrench, damn it." Well, for the most part, the most of the wrenches in the room are Patreon supporters, and then a couple of people who are just, you know, actual mods who come on and you know and do all that, a lot of that kind of stuff. Trusted people like I don't know. Did I see Tommy in here? I thought I seen Tommy show up in here. I could be wrong. Maybe I didn't see Tommy in here. But let's see. But yeah, Don't Whiz on the Electric Fence would be great. Terrazon says, "Oops, I'm late. Hey kids, how you doing tonight, Tara?" Luis Ramirez is like lurking. Is Perry in here lurking with you guys? Are you guys in here lurking, Perry? Let's see. Fanjector says it's log. It's big. It's heavy. It's wood. Yeah. Immortal Biggie Shack, how you doing? Oh, you know what? That Immortal Biggie Shack is another mean guy. You know what this guy's been doing out there? This guy's actually been going out in the comic book community. You know what he did last weekend? He did this show called the Top 5 Worst Comic Book YouTubers. Can you believe that? And he sat there and he jokingly and lovingly talked trash about all of these people. Can't believe it. Such a terrible guy. This is Perry Comics and the Immortal Biggie Shack, two of the biggest comic book YouTubers that I know. These are the only two dudes that can do the things that they do. And they're out there talking trash about everybody else out there in the comic book community. How dare you? Dare you? But that show was pretty funny, man. I was laughing. I was laughing pretty good. I was laughing pretty good. And then who was it? Wasn't it Comic Head? He did a live stream. I think like on Sunday. Was it Sunday that he did that, or was that on Monday? Or was it on Tuesday? He did a live stream talking about some of the drama that Perry's been stirring up on his channel over there by talking trash about all those comic book YouTubers out there. Perry, I'm telling you, this Perry and Immortal Biggie Shaq, man, you guys got to watch out for these guys. You got to watch out for them. It's better than bad. It's good. Oh no, what was it? Oh, you're tardy, Missy. Yeah, that's all good. Wasn't really talking about much but comic books. Probably about really all we'll talk about today, but how it involves some other stuff as well. Let's see who else we got here. Let's scroll down. Cue Ball is here. Oh no. Look at, I'm sure he's going to be in here stirring up a whole bunch of chaos. Think About Comics says, dang, with all these great live streams going on, I think I need to get on this horse. Yes, definitely. Cue Ball says, hello all. L. Jackson. Okay. I'll leave alone before they obviously say something, before I say something inappropriate. RC Scott says, I just found the despecialized versions of Star Wars get out of here, 4 through 6 on Blu-ray for $25. No. RC Scott, stop, dude. That's not even funny. Dude. That's not even funny. Really, because yeah. Oh man, Tara says that's why we are the best chat, Wookie. Yeah, what did I miss here by Wookie? I'll leave that alone before I. Oh, okay, yeah. All right, I see. Cue Ball says I almost bought the original Return of the Jedi for $45. Worth it. Tears down with the toxic masculinity. F yeah. Oh yeah, this is the Trailer Park Live. We can say that. Welcome in, Vin. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Who else? And how far behind am I on the chat here? I know I've seen a lot of people here. Some comic book hunter. Thank you so much for being here. We're talking about more Star Wars stuff. And guys, if there's anything you got to say to me, you don't have to send in a super chat. All those who do, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that. But also make sure you set, at Second Street Marvel in the chat, so it highlights my name in there, so I can see that you want me to say something specifically. Yova Rhodes. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see who else we got here. Snowdub Music and Entertainment. Gosh, man. Pretty soon, me and Snowdub, we're going to be, me and Snowdub and Kermit the Log, we're going to be doing a collaboration together, doing a movie review. We're going to make it an hour live stream, maybe hour and a half. We're going to get together and we're going to talk about a movie. I just got it all sent out to him. If you guys were watching the morning movie chat the other day, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Chris is here from Chaos and Comics. Tomorrow we'll be going live with Chris from Chaos and Comics, as well as Dylan from Dylan's Comic Book Rants. We're going to be talking about some comic books, guys. Probably going to talk about a little more comic books here as soon as I get a little bit caught up on the chat here. But you know what I want to talk about here today, guys, is some of these comic books, some of the comic book culture is so popular now, right? So popular. Everybody wants a piece of it. People out there talk about comic books, don't even read comic books, you know what I mean? People out there writing comic books. Well, okay, never mind. People out there writing comic books, and then there's people out there making comic book movies that don't care about comic books. You know what I mean? How do you guys feel about that? I don't know. I guess, as long as they could tell a good story. But it's when we hear things, out there of people who are they're really just using it to push, to further their own narrative. This is something we're talking about on the morning movie chat the past couple of days, because I've been working on my clickbaiting out there, using some clickbait titles and thumbnails to get people to watch my live streams. Oh my god. Because Hollywood's gone woke, and so is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Chaos and Comics says, I was in the top 5 worst. Obviously, you know what, Chris? You probably should have been. You probably should have been in the top 5 worst. Dang, man, now I feel mean because I was just like kidding, dude. Like that, man. And I'm getting ready to do a live stream with you tomorrow, dude. He's gonna be, dude. He's gonna be mad. Yeah, so make sure you guys tune in for that. Yeah, I was. Yeah, I know it was. It was funny, dude. That all that was funny. Um, all that stuff was hilarious because Perry actually lurked on that stream that he did or that video that he did. I'm not sure. I think it was a stream, and I was cracking up the whole time, man. That was hilarious stuff. Big was on there. Oh, wasn't it with Comic Head 84? I'm pretty sure it was with Comic Head 84, dude. Hilarious. Snow Deb says I used my white privilege to get a wrench, filled out the paperwork and everything. Yeah, I was gonna say that those guys. It's like they're just part of the Cotton Connection, you know. Like it's they're part of the Jenner check crowd. So I don't know, man. That's like my puppet from another mother. You know what I mean? He didn't even talk real trash. Yeah, oh yeah, no, I know. It was hilarious. Yeah, it was hilarious. Oh man, dude, it just jumped on me, man. It just jumped on me. But yeah, I actually kind of told you guys what we're going to be talking about here. So let's go ahead and get into that. And if there's anybody who wants to come onto the show tonight to talk about some of the stuff that we're talking about, let me know. We can either do that through Skype, or I do have things linked up where we could always hop over onto StreamYard as well. So let me know, guys. I think me and the Lonely Man were the first wrenches. Yeah, I'm not sure who else. I'm not sure who else I wrenched. Who were some of the first wrenches? I probably, if I was gonna say, I hope I didn't wrench cue ball. That dude sure don't need a wrench. That dude's he's gonna try to hit it with everybody with it. Wookie Supremacy says, if I paid for Patreon, that would take away from the dispensary budget, and no one wants me sober. I don't know, man. It's only $1. It's only $1. Just $1. Just $1. I mean, through the course of the whole year, that $1. I mean, what is that? It's not even an eighth, is it? You even getting an eighth out of that from the dispensary? I don't see any Germanic representation here. Definitely not. Okay, and let's see. What is a comic book? What is a juggalo? I don't know. Oh man, I better be careful. I better be careful of getting copyright strikes, man. Trinity needs another hit. Oh man, you're funny, dude. Echo Base Network, thank you so much for being here. Chaos and Comics says, should have been. I was actually in the top 5 worst channels on Biggie Shaq's list. Nice. That's hilarious. Hopefully I can make his list one of these days too. Dang it. Yeah, he's too funny, man. He's a good dude. I think everybody loves Biggie Shaq, man. Nobody does it like Biggie Shaq. But yeah, guys. So I want to talk. Like there's something I've kind of been thinking about. And wanted to talk about for a while is so many times like we see out there. People who maybe aren't into certain things, wanting to get into other things. And what I'm talking about here is like for instance, when we're gonna use comic book culture. For instance, here is we can see a lot of what Marvel and DC has struggled things over the years. A lot of that is partially probably due to them also needing to keep up with the times. You know what I mean? Keep up with the times. We can see, they themselves have problems where they're flooding the shelves with all kinds of variant covers and all these different things. One book comes out and you get, 5, 6, 7 different variant covers of one book. Some of them are incentives, like, one in 15s, one in 50s, one in hundreds, stuff like that. So a comic book shop has to order 100 of a certain title in order to qualify to get this one specific cover and different things like that. So, I mean, the comic book culture is, the comic book publishers have kind of shoot themselves in the foot in that sense anyway, flooding the market with all of these kinds of things, you know what I mean? And, like, when it comes down to it, like a lot of the sales, when you look at them, it's always kind of hard to say what is and isn't selling, because some comic shops will place some of those minimum orders to get in some of those one in variants, however many they may be, and different things like that, to qualify for different issues and stuff like that. And so they purchase more for that, and obviously, so that means more sales for those, for the comic book, the publisher, right? Because they're getting more. Where just it's all a big game too, if you think about it. And it's just it's really weird stuff. I won't confess to know a whole lot about it. I just know that it's one of the things I see when I go into the comic book shop. I see all these different issues set in there, and you just think about, like, man, are all of these selling? Like, how many of these, like, when you think about some of the variants and things like that they had to do, and not all of them, the different ones come out are incentive covers neither. Not all of them are like that. So, but it still begs the question, like, why so many? Like, they're putting too many out there. Sometimes I go to my local comic book shop, and there's, like, ones, like, sprawled. I mean, they have a whole bunch of, man. Like, I remember one time, man, like, all of the regular shelf was all full, and then they even had, like, oh man, I want to say most of their crystal glass cases covered with all the new comics that came out too. Dude, dude, that's a whole lot of books, man. It's a whole lot of books, and mostly who's guilty of that is Marvel's one of the company who does that a lot with a lot of the variants, but DC's certainly guilty of it as well. Certainly guilty of it as well, and we see they've had problems, over the last couple of years. Sales have gone down. Some of that is partially due to them keeping up with the times. I'm quite sure. You know what I mean? And keeping up with digital media, and probably needing to scale back actual prints and things like that. But at the same time, where does that come with, like, variant covers and stuff like that? Because there's still collectors out there. There's still collectors out there that want these kinds of things. So, where do they draw that line? Where's the good line for that? And obviously they've had problems with, like, writers and, the books and things, a lot of different changes and things they've made in comic books, things like that, with different writers and stuff in there. They'll come in and take over characters, and they use them, to push their agendas, and their own personal politics and things like that. We see this a lot in comic books, and most, like, Marvel and DC are the ones, really they're the ones most guilty of it. And I will say part of that is due to the fact that they have the superheroes. They kind of got the monopoly on superheroes for the most part, and they've got all these old pre-established comic book characters out there that people love, and have been around for a long time. These legacy characters that have just been around forever, and you get where they come in, and the writers will change these characters, and whether that be, by way of, like the race swapping and the gender swapping and all that kind of stuff, making, like, the tokenized versions, like the Miles Morales, Spider-Man, and all of that kinds of stuff. No matter what way you feel about it, in a lot of cases that's what it is. Like Miles Morales, he is a tokenized version of Peter Parker. And the one thing I would have to say about that is, like, I mean, that's just fundamentally a truth. Okay, it is. He's just Peter Parker reskinned. But the thing is you could also ask the question: is, does that mean that it's bad? Could it still be good? You know what I mean? Could it still be good? And I think the answer to that is really yes, right? Like, they can write Miles Morales Spider-Man and make it good and entertaining, but it still begs the question: why not just create an original new character? You know what I mean? And I think that's where they largely come in with the problems in places like DC and Marvel, is because they have these characters that have been around forever that people love, and they have this lore behind them and everything. We see the same thing going on in like with the Star Wars universe. These things that kind of trample on the lore of everything that's going on and come before it. So I think that's why they really struggle with those kinds of things, because you have these pre-established characters where people go through and they change their histories. If you're reading right now, if you're reading the current Marauders series, every time you pick up a Marauders book, what we see, like every issue, they have to remind you that Iceman is gay, right? Every single, like, it's like I'm pretty sure, like, every single issue, by the time you even get halfway through it, they make sure that they let you know that Iceman's gay. Okay, and the thing is like, I don't have a problem with gay people or whatever. All that's not the issue. The thing is that so far, and maybe somewhere in the story, it's going to have something to do with because who he's in a relationship right now. But in some of the comics, we see that, like, in some of the issues, he wasn't even kissing that person that he's in this relationship with, and maybe it's because it was on down the line. Maybe he wasn't in his relationship yet. But they changed this character's character's history a while back. But you read Marauders now, it's like in there, like every issue, you get this reminder, and there's like okay, like I don't have a problem with that, whatever with that part of the character, but you don't have to remind us every issue. And if you are, what's the point? Is it part of the story? And one could easily make that excuse in this for this particular title with this specific relationship, because it's actually two different factions of the Hellfire Trading Company, but at the same time, this is something that's been going on in the comic for quite a while. And the thing is there's really no need to do that when you could always do what they want to do. They could write just another character out there that's a gay character, a new one out there, right? And that's the thing is that's where people really get the real issues with these things. If I'm not wrong, am I wrong? Am I wrong that's where where people would start taking issue with these kinds of things? Because you're taking these old existing characters and changing fundamentally who they are. And that's not to say they can't do that and make write good stories with this character and have fun. Like I said, like even the Spider-Man, the Miles Morales Spider-Man, they write it. I read like the first, I think I got the first 5 or 6 of them. And it was an okay series, but I stopped pulling it because, for one, there's too many Spider-Man. At the time, there was a whole bunch of Spider-Man books out, and two, I was kind of like, it's there's really nothing big going on here. It's just I don't know. It just wasn't that great of a story. It wasn't intriguing to me. It just wasn't with all the other Spider-Man books I was reading. I was like, of all of them, I would stop reading. It'd be that one. You know. And so a lot of the other titles have stopped now. But I was gonna say, but that's like I said. For me, I think that's the issue is when they do it and they change these characters, and I think that's the reason that Marvel and DC struggle with something like that, is because they have these old legacy characters that people come in and do those changes to. These people that want to do this with these characters when you could just write new characters, and I think for one thing, I feel there's nothing wrong with wanting to put your personal politics, your agenda stuff in a comic book, but make it a story that's your own. You know what I mean? One that's your own, that doesn't affect, Batman, or doesn't affect Spider-Man or anything like that. Just write a new story. And that's the one thing I like indies for. Because when it comes down to that, indie comic books are independent creators, like writers, who are writing their own story, and they're building their own world, so they can put those things in the story to tell that. And most writers, if they're a good writer, will be able to do that in a good way. You know what I mean? And make these characters seem real and exist in what seems like a real world. And I think that's where some of the stuff where really a lot of this comes from, because you don't hear of course it's because they don't get as many sales of these smaller independent books, but you don't hear people shouting at the rooftops about this character, that character that's gay, or this or that, and all these other comic books that are out there, because there's plenty of other comic books out there that do these kinds of things and all of that, and nobody cares about those because I guess a lot of people would easily argue because nobody's reading those books. somebody would easily say that, but there are, and I myself personally read a lot of indie comic books. As a matter of fact, over the last year or so, I've been getting more into indie comic books. And like I said, for me, I think that's a place where people need to go. If not creating new characters, tell those stories that you want to tell in an independent story, in your own story, in an indie comic book. You can find an artist out there. You know, you can. There's publishing companies out there you can do those kinds of things with. It's that you can work with. So there's that. But then also we see like one of the things is like when part of that comes into it falls into the movies as well now. Because we see like in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I was talking about this the other day too. We got this writer in there that's writing the new Black Widow movie, the writer of the new Black Widow movie, this Jack Schaefer. And I remember the story when it first came out, and then I remember when the story first came out, and then I remember Young Rip of 5'9" was talking about it, and then he was just talking about it again the other day too. But it's one of the things she said was she was never into comic book culture before she got into writing for Marvel, but she saw it as a vehicle she could use to basically let her voice be heard, and she could use it to all those kinds of things, like push her politics and things like that. And that's bad. You know what I mean? Like that's good that you wanna grow, but like do it like doing things just for that reason. So it's like they're just coming in and I don't know, like hijacking this culture. You know what I mean? Instead of like do like everyone else does, go out there and write a comic book. You know what I mean? There's plenty of writers out there doing that, and that's like some of the ones I was talking about here at the very beginning of the show. Go out there and just write a new comic book. Like this one right here, Undone by Blood. Go out there and write a new book instead of having to go and do the different things. Instead of changing legacy characters, I think that's where a lot of the people start to have bigger problems with this kinds of things. But I could be wrong. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Like I said, for me, that's why I like indie comic books, because when I read that kinds of stuff in an indie comic book, I can laugh about it. I can enjoy it a little bit more. You know what I mean? Because the writer they're like you'll know if it's something you want to continue reading, but they're writing a story and building a world that you'll want to see and feel and be a part of or not. Snowdub Music and Entertainment, thank you so much. Sends a $2 super chat. Says, I got the next round. Shots. Hashtag Jenner check. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. But that to me, that's where it is. That's where you should tell these stories. Like this one right here is a weird one. I was talking about this one earlier too. Alienated, right? This is one of those stories that it's a good story, but what it is, it's about these three kids. They're going to high school, and they all kind of outcast, I guess you could say. Like this one kid right here at the very beginning. He's got like his own little YouTube channel that he's doing. He's got set up, and he's talking about the man and things like this. He says the Empire graciously allows me to have 4 thoughts per day. Math, history, English, biology. This year's approved facts. Hey, did you know our school system's modeled on 1800s Prussia? It's true. And he goes on, and and then he turns off, and it's just some kid, there on his computer. He's just sitting there making YouTube videos. So and then he walks out of his house, and then who's he walk by? Oh yeah. A kid right there, man. Kid with the red hat on. You know what those red hats mean, right? You guys know what those red hats mean. But he comes across me. We get introduced to this first kid, and then we get introduced to this girl right here, and of course the same asshole kid comes across all of them, and then of course we got the flamboyant gay kid in here as well. And now the interesting thing about this book, like I was saying earlier, is if you want to tell stories like this, you can't, and that's the thing, is you can't work this into like one of these superhero comics. Yet people have done things like that to try to. You just write new stories. That's the place of indies, because a book like this, it puts things like that in there, and it still has me wondering, like, I'm intrigued by this story and the way it's set up. I think this might actually have something to offer, even though it's got some of those things in there. You could easily say are those like those political agenda kind of messages and things like that in here. But this writer is actually doing that in this book. But I don't think this is that. I think we've just got these kind of characters that fit those model types of different ones. Of different, subcultures out there in our real world. And I think that's one of the things with like the indie comics is these people are actually, because they're having to do their own thing and they have to build their own world. You know what I mean? And I think, if you're gonna do it, that's the way to do it. If you wanna write a movie to tell your story, to tell your narrative, your personal agenda or whatnot, your own personal politics, go out there and make that movie. Go out there and write that script for the movie. And don't make it have to be, James Bond instead, or this instead, or that instead. Let those movies do what they've always done. You know what I mean? Because the funny thing is that's how we as fans, when we're into these kinds of things, we kind of feel like we own them, right? You know what I mean? We kind of start to feel like we own these things, these franchises and stuff. They can't do this with our characters. These are our characters. They can't change our characters, right? They can't do that. They can't be changing our characters. It's weird. I mean, it is weird that we're fans like that and we're weird about things like that. But it's true. You can't change these characters because it's like we own them. You know what I mean? At a certain point, it feels like we own them. And it's just funny when you hear some of those kind of arguments out there, because it's like, God, like when I hear these things, like I hear both sides of that argument. I gotta just write some new stories. You know what I mean? Just write some new stories. Don't change what's classically been. If you write a good story, people will read it and want to read it. If you make something good and thought provoking. That's what gets people into reading, and that's why I think, a lot of the indie books that I read are good, because I've even read some of them that have, just like I said, like things like that in there, that are more like younger generation type of stuff, you know what I mean? And have some of these, how would you say, some of these things that people, that if I seen in like a typical superhero book, like a Marvel or a DC book, I'd be like, what? That don't belong in there. And things that I have seen in some of, well, I guess more the Marvel books, because I read more Marvel anyway, in there, that I'm like, well, no, this don't go here. This goes in a different book. Like, what's this even doing here? This goes in a different book. And I think that's one thing I like about indies, because I can, you can get into that in a different world. You got a different writer doing something different, and hopefully, if you got a good writer and a good artist, you can get some great stories. But I don't know. Let me see. Talk about that down in the comments below, guys. I see you're all being very active, but I don't know, because like I said, you see people, they come in and they kind of, some of the people, in the case of like the Jack Schaefer from the MCU, that lady, she even admitted she didn't want to have nothing to do with the comic book culture, but yet she's into it. You know what I mean? Like, and to me, that's cool. If you want to come in and make a comic book and tell your story, go out there and do it. There's people out there doing it. People out there who do their own independent comics. You know what I mean? People that do like the Indiegogos and the Kickstarters and all of those kinds of things. There's people out there that's doing that. And speaking of which, I've got one I've still got to do a review on. I think I was talking about it 2 weeks ago, that I got of this comic book that is tied into this Nintendo game. I actually seen Edwin, the comic jabroni, talking about it today as well. But anyway, okay, let's see here. What's everybody talking about here in the chats? See, we got 23 of you here, 26 likes. Thank you all so much for doing that, guys. Hope you're all having a very good day. Echo Base Network says, Trinity, are you a supporter of Comics Gate? No, I'm not. And I guess really one would have to ask, in what way? Because you know what, I've actually thought about, and here's the thing is, like, he talks about Comicsgate. I don't know that he never really actually claims it, but come on, guys, we all know. Richard C. Meyer, I believe it is, your boy Zach. That dude cracks me up, man. Your boy Zach is a hilarious dude. I love his channel. I watch like every single one of his videos. He's great. Your boy Zach is he's fucking awesome. If you guys aren't subscribed to your boy Zach, go subscribe to your boy Zach and listen to him talk about comics. You don't have to take everything he says seriously. You can watch some of his videos and you can tell he's not being serious all the time. He's dude, he makes me chuckle, man. He makes me laugh so much. But he got a couple books that he's doing right now, and I was actually thinking about doing that. I was thinking about doing like the tip jar thing in here, everything, where there's links down in the description where you can go and send in direct donations via Streamlabs. I was gonna put that, and there's like a little ticker that I can put somewhere up here on the screen. I was thinking about starting one of those so we could get up to $30. I want to get up to $30 so I can back one of your boy Zach's campaigns. Because I mean, I put a lot of money into the comic books already that I buy for the week that I do reviews on and everything. Anyway, I don't have like an extra $25. You know what I mean? It's a lot. So I was thinking maybe you guys, the viewers, can be the sponsors of that and go and send direct donations via Streamlabs, via those links down there, and fund it. And, maybe that's how we'll do it. Once we hit $30, I was going to put one of those little ticker things. I just didn't get around to it. I've been busy today. Fridays are my busy days. But I was going to do that. And then we'll do a live stream and we'll talk about it one of these days. But other than that, no. The only other like Indiegogo campaign or whatnot Kickstarter that I've backed up is Preston Poulter from Pocket Jacks Comics. I've backed White Lily and Guinevere and the Divinity Factory. I have backed those. Let's see, I could show you. And yes, I know he's controversial out there. He's the one nobody seems to like. Nobody likes him. He's such a bad guy. I don't know. People out there are crazy, man. People out there are crazy. They, that such is nerd culture, right? Here we go. Right here, I got Guinevere and the Divinity Factory. That one right there, and then we've got the White Lily issues right there. Got that one, and this one was the campaign one. When I got it, it was both of them, both of these together. It was these two right there. But no, other than that, I haven't. But like I said, I was thinking about maybe I should do that since I don't, because I don't have all the extra funds in the world, to do that. But I was thinking maybe I'll do one of those things, and do the direct donation thing, and let that fund it. The direct donation one because I can track that and stuff like that. Other than that, the super chats and all that stuff. That I probably won't get a check from them for who knows how long before I ever get a check from YouTube. You know what I'm saying? But no, but I would if there's more people out there that I knew of that were putting out good titles that I liked, that I wanted to see. Richard C. Meyer, your boy Zach, his actually sounds good and interesting. I've heard him talk about it. He plugs it in all of his videos and stuff. His actually sound good and interesting though. He made me interested in wanting to read it though. Definitely wanting to do that. Fanjexer donated $2 through super chat. Says, if you want to guess, shoot me a StreamYard link. Okay, I can do that. I'll do that here in a little while. Maybe we can go for about a half hour, man. Let's see. I'm effing loaded. Says Wookiee Supremacy. Let's see. Fans extra hilarious, man. Yeah, but yeah, no, I don't. I haven't supported, and that's just because I want to find one that's good that interests me. That one that I would back up. Like I said, your boy Zach's got one that I wanna back up that I would. It's just it comes down to funds, man. It comes down to funds. The Lonely Banter says, I talked about the Black Widow first rider. #cancel. Yes, you did too, as well. You did too, Lonely Banter. I was gonna say, because it was a big deal when she said that in that thing, man. Like what the hell? Yo, what's pop? Z Collects, thank you so much for being here. Let's see, where else are we at? I'd like to know what all the guys got for Valentine's. Chicken wings. Probably fairly cheap stuff. I got some fancy French macaroons. They were tasty. Oh, man, sounds nice. Loneliness saves money on holidays, says Tara. Yes, and I can guarantee you, LB feels the same way. Pages Films and Plastics says hello, and to Tommy, hello, and hello to Tommy. Aggressively Relaxing says, Wookie got sushi dinner and thoughtful inside joke gift from his significant other. Oh man, you guys are funny. Oh, my guess was incorrect. Oh man, okay. I get to go straight home after work because I don't feel like not going home. All right. Let's see. Where else are we at? Ooh, just jumped again on me, man. Just jumped again on me. Um, but yeah, guys. I don't know. Anybody want to talk about some comic books? Want to talk about some more independent comic books? That's what I was. That's what I was really wanted to talk about, and because like for me, like I was saying, when it comes to any of these things, like whether it's the movies or even the comic books, if you want stories that you want to be told, go out there and make write something of your own instead of trying to change something else that's already out there. Trying to, I guess you would say, like hijack a culture. Instead of trying to do that and changing these characters. And I'm not saying that it can't be good or it can't or that it's all bad or anything things like that. It's not about that. It's about when it comes down to these things, a lot of it, people are using these things to I mean for their own means. You know what I mean? And that's not I don't know. That can't always be a good thing, because they're just getting into it for the own reason. It's not because they care about it. You know what I mean? And I know there's so many of us out there that actually care about these different things that these the comic book culture or even movies and things like that. But one thing I always argue here is that that's what these mediums are all for, though. All these mediums are to express your own personal beliefs and things like that as well. If you want, you write that story. You write your own story, though. You write your own characters. You build that your own world and things out there like that. A lot, and when you do those things, a lot of these stories end up being better than a lot of the other things out there. One that I've been reading lately out there right here is The Plot. And this isn't one pushing an agenda anything other than it's a great horror title. Have you guys read The Plot? Dude, this is a great book. And this one right here is an homage to what is it? House of Secrets or something like that? The Swamp Thing? Like that? I don't know. It's a pretty cool cover though. Check that out. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. His review, Gary North says his review of the James Bond comic was funny. Aggressively Relaxing says, I really don't get your complaint when you have read old enough comics about being upset about characters being changed is just silly. TK, not opposed, donated $10 through Super Chat. Says, let's see. Good insight tonight on the changing of legacy characters versus the creation of original characters. Well, thank you very much, TKO, not at post. I greatly appreciate that. And And the thing is and that's for me. I think that's really the biggest issue most people are gonna have is when you change the legacy characters. Just write new characters. It's not that hard to do. People do it all the time. The people who wrote this book, I believe, God, who is this? Tim Daniel and Michael Morisi, that wrote this one right here. The Plot. Tim Daniel and Michael Morisi. Oh, dang, I'm good. You know how, and Joshua Hickson is the drawer, colored by Jordan Boyd, lettered by the hardworking Jim Campbell. You know how I knew that and remembered that? Because it's a great story, and I wanted to remember their names. You know what I mean? Because it's a good book. Ooh, look at that. You know what they did? Right now, I just seen they did. I'm not sure where I can find it at. I seen, I think, was it Tim Daniel was on Twitter earlier yesterday, maybe the day before, and he tweeted, I think it was him, saying that they're doing a black and white version of The Plot issue #1. I'm like, oh, dang it, I want it. I want it. The plot, man. Great stuff. Great stuff. But yeah, I mean, just create new characters. Create new characters out there. I mean, it's not hard. It's not hard to do. I could show you. Let's see what's some other ones that I've been reading. You know, well, like I just showed you those Alienated. You know, the Alienated. You know, they got the different characters in there. You got your different background characters and everything in there, kind of representing different people. You know, one of my favorites, and this one's not like about really necessarily agendas or anything. You know, one of my favorites I've been talking about, guys, is Neon Future. Neon Future is a really good one. It's got good, strong female characters in there. Got great characters. It's a cyberpunk book. It's a cyberpunk book about 30 years in the future. There's like basically like advanced robotics and stuff like that have taken over. People are starting to upgrade their bodies with like parts and stuff, almost like Ghost in the Shell, or and then it's almost like Blade Runner as well. These things get outlawed, and dude, I'm telling you, it's a good book. It's a good book. It's kind of like The Matrix too. Like it pulls from a lot of things. I mean, when it's cyberpunk, so when if you ask me, and I've talked about this a couple times, when it comes to cyberpunk, it's all kind of the same, isn't it? It's all kind of the same, and so it's hard to argue. But like you just create new stories, and that's what people do. You create new stories out there to tell. Like right here we got where's this one at? I think the only one I didn't have was issue number 1. We've got like White Widow. You know what I mean? White Widow. They created a new story, a new character. You know what I mean? You go out there and you just rewrite a new story. You create a new character. Let's see, what else is another good one? Ooh, that's another good one. Folklords. Have you guys read Folklords? That's another good one. You know what I mean? It's about this kid, living back in the days, back in like medieval times, I guess you could say, and he's having these dreams of modern days, like our modern days, and this technology and stuff, and he makes his own clothes and stuff. He's made his own suits and things like that. But when they when they graduate high school, look, he kind of looks like Owen Wilson. When they graduate high school, basically, they got to go up and claim what they want to do. These things, they got to go off on these quests, and he wants to go. He wants to go meet the Folklords, and he's getting all these visions from the future and everything. And his friend goes up there and says that when they're doing their graduation ceremony thing, and puts him on blast. And like, dude, it's like there's a whole like cover up thing going on. It was a really good book, Folklords. Another really good one that's out there. Like I said, you just write a new character. You just write a new book. You just write something new. That's where indies come in at. That's where indies are so great. Dude, have you guys seen my review I did on this book right here, World Reader? This one's a trade paperback. Yeah, and that's what it is. Like I can show you. I've got this long box here. Full of. Well, here, let me see if I can get this on here. Let me see if I can get this on here and show you guys what I'm talking about here. Let me see. Let me see if I can get it on here. Can I get this?
I'm not sure I understand.
What's this doing? Let me see if I can get this thing to work here. Obviously I can if it's taking this long, right? Let me see. But you just write new characters. And I'll see if I can do this. Is this thing gonna work? It's taking too long. We'll forget about it. But you just write new stories. I've got Ooh, right here. Another good one. Right here. Sarah and the Royal Stars. This book right here, I believe it's coming out on trade paperback right now. It's getting ready to start up its second story arc here pretty soon. But it takes place in basically like the Middle East. It's in Persia, and Sarah, she has to go out and set these star constellations. Like there's like these these legends of the stars. These it's basically these beings, these gods, if you will, who represent the star constellations. They get stuck on Earth, and the seasons won't change, right? The seasons won't change, and so they're stuck there. And they're stuck there, and they don't really know what to do, what's going on. And so Sarah here, there's war going on in her lands. There's a war going on, and she's actually it's actually a family feud here, to be honest as well. But she gets this call one day from Mitra here. Calls to her in her dream to set her out on this quest to save these royal stars. Um, let's see. He says, "My name is Mitra, and I have brought you here to give you a message. You have been chosen to break the bonds placed on the eternal celestial lights. If time is to continue on its rightful path in the physical realm, this magic must be broken." So they're basically stuck on Earth, and she has to go free them. Otherwise, the seasons won't change, and her people are already like stuck in just like they're in famine. The food is scarce. It's not raining. They need rain and different things like that. And she starts getting these this this god, this Mitra replaces her heart with like this jewel thing, right? And then she ends up she has this vision of her mother, her mother's death and things like that. Her mother has died too, and supposedly her mother died going out trying to fulfill this same quest and freeing these royal stars. But it's all like it's a very good story. You can see a little bit more of the art right there. It's a very good story. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things, where you can see out there where they got we got a good strong female character. She's really well written. She's got she's leading the story. She's kicking ass throughout this whole story. The first I think like 5 issues, she's kicking ass, and she's getting help along the way. It's a really good book. It's a really good book. And things out there that like I said, there's all kinds of different ways to make new characters, and you can tell your own stories. Okay, where is this one? There we go. Like I could show you. Ooh, yeah, that's another good one. Let's see. Man, there's too many here. There's too many here, man. I could go on. I could go on and on and on. There's a book called "You Are Obsolete." It's kind of about cancel culture. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's a dark one. There's this one right here, "Bad Reception." This book right here, I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for issue number 4 and 5 or however many's gonna come out on this. "Bad Reception" was a really good one. There's just all these stories that people write, that are really good. Have you guys read Maul? Maul is another good one. It's a post-apocalyptic tale taking place, where all these people are basically holed up in a mall. It's kind of like Mallrats meets the Warriors. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Like they're all living in this mall, and it's kind of like, dude, it's crazy. It's crazy. Dang. So let's see. But yeah, his review of James Bond, it was funny. Okay, let's see where else we at here. Ooh man, it jumped again. Let's see. Oh man, really? Is this where things are going to, guys? Is this where things are going? Oh man. Luckily we got some mods in here tonight, man. Oh. What is going on? Jeebus Christ. Hey, but hey, there's 26 viewers here right now watching me flap my gums about comic books, and you know what? That's a good thing, man. That's awesome. Um, let's see. What else is there? What else do you guys want to talk about, man? What else? I mean, we'll probably go for. I don't know. What you guys want to go for? I would like to call it a short night so I can get to sleep at a decent time and go for a nice, good bike ride early in the morning. Some of the guys are getting ready to go out and hammer out some miles tomorrow, and I'm probably completely not prepared for that. But that's what they're wanting to do. Maybe I'll go hang out with them and ride with them for a little while. Ride with them for a little while. See how much I can handle. See if I can still hang with the guys. Let's see what else, man. What else is there? But I mean, you know, like I've been saying, you know, that's the thing, you know, you just write new stories, you know. You don't have to come in and change all these old classic characters that so many people have loved for so long. And that's not saying that there can't be changes made to characters and not have it be good characters. You know, like I know, like you know, one of my favorite things is like you know a lot of people were upset when there was when Captain America became a Hydra agent. I love that story. I think that like to me that like that's cool. That's interesting. Like that story is kind of what got me back into reading. Are there better Captain America stories out there? Oh yeah, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's way better. I'm sure there's way better Captain America stories out there. But I mean, it just kind of depends on really on what's going on. You know, and that's why I say I think that's why the independents are so good is because you got these writers and everything coming in, doing their own, doing their own thing, creating their own worlds, building their own characters. That's really nice, and that's really nice. That's you know instead of changing the old ones. But I don't know. Like I said, guys, let me know how you guys feel about that. How do you guys feel about that kinds of stuff? Like I said, I know different people feel differently about those kinds of things. Oh man, which book was supposed to go in here? This was a special one. Ooh yeah. That's the one. Did I show you guys that one earlier? That one right there. Yeah, I showed. If you guys were here early enough in the video, you guys probably seen that one. Let's see. Sucka stepped on my sneakers. Let's see. Wookie Supremacy says Second Street has a creeper in the alleyway. Yeah, apparently so, man. Like, what's going on here? Like, oh no. Like, did I do something wrong, guys? Must have attracted one of those people who's bored on a Friday night, dude. Go have a beer. Go smoke a joint. Go drink a soda. You know, whatever gets your rocks off, man. You know, because you don't have to come here to troll. Like, if you just came here to hang out, like we're all cool. Everybody here is cool. You know what I mean? None of the people here in my chats, none of the people here in my chats hate you. You know, they're all nice, welcoming people. Who we got? Wookie Supremacy. He's a cool dude. James, DKOT, Rebels, he's awesome. Fanjecture's awesome. Let's see. Snowdub, he's an awesome dude. The Senate, he's a great dude. Tommy, great dude. LB, great dude. All great dudes. What y'all in here tripping for, man? Y'all can come in here and have a good time. Y'all can come in here and have a good time if you want. It's all good. Oh, I mean, but see, then you just want to come in here and call people names. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You can hang out and be cool. You can hang out and, you know, you can hang out with us all and talk with us all and be cool. You know, Brent Sampson. You know, you don't have to, you know, you don't have to call everybody names. We're just here talking about comic books, bro. That's all I'm doing tonight. That's all I'm doing tonight. I'm just talking about comic books. Like, you gotta call Jolly a bitch because I'm talking about comic books? Really? Jeebus. Come on, Brett Sampson, get a grip. He says, "Oh, I see. You saw that sweet Brooks cover. Yeah, I seen that cover, and I was like, ooh, man, that's too nice of a cover, man. I had to get that. I had to get that cover. I had to get that cover, man. But let's see, like, ooh, like, guys, I'm not sure if you guys remember when I talked about this one. Like, I don't read a whole lot of Valiant comics, but I got this one right here just because that cover, man. You know what I mean? Immortal Biggie Shaq would make fun of me because it doesn't have boobies on there, but it's got booty on there, right? Oh man, oh man, I'm still laughing about that video from the other day, dude. That was hilarious stuff. Hilarious stuff. You know, I still got a bunch of comics to catch up on and read, man. I'm behind on some stuff. I'm behind on some stuff. Like, have you guys been reading Arrow? Has anybody been reading Arrow? The series right here. The series right here is actually really good. It's actually really good. The only thing is this will read better in a trade paperback because it's like a manga style, and I feel like even when I did it, like I read the first 2 issues and I think I didn't read any of the issues for like another 6 issues, and then I caught up and read them. I'm like, oh, this is really great as a trade. And I remember the first 2 issues when I read them, I'm kind of like, it's a little slow moving here, but the story's good. But like, these right here would work great in a trade paperback. Definitely work good in a trade paperback. This Arrow one, definitely. All right, let's see what. Scott, stop spreading the truth. Oh no, what happened? What happened? But yeah, that was a sweet cover. Chill out and read some comics. Yeah, for real, man. Read some comics. Read some comics. Read some good. Curtis YZ, thank you so much for being here. Who else here? LB says, Second Street Marvel, you get your rocks off. Get my rocks off? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What? Oh man, I'm hilarious tonight. I'm scrolling up through the chat. What are you guys talking about? Why am I hilarious? What'd I do? What'd I do? Same dude, 500 accounts, Twitter. Oh, yeah. I don't know, dude. These people are weirdos, bro. Fucking weirdos everywhere. Fucking weirdos. Gary North says, I've ordered Deceased. I ordered the Deceased series you talked about the other day. Oh, right. Did you order the new one that's coming out? Or did you order, like, the old trade paperback? Because, like, I've got, like, I'm not sure if it's the original one, but I've got the one they just did not too long ago. I think it was their first one that they did, though, of these titles. Yeah, and I've got those right here. Like Deceased, that's the first one. I got the zombie covers. Got the zombie Batman. What's it next? The zombie Superman. And these are all like card stock variants. Also got like the Wonder Woman. Let's see. There's also Joker. Yeah, those are pretty badass, dude. They're pretty sweet. We got the Dark Side there. Let's see. What's the other one? Harley. Got that one right there. And we got the shit. I just fucking went blank. Oh, and then I got this one right here too. The this Nightmare on Elm Street like homage cover as well. What was this, number 2? I think this was number 2. They had it in the half price bins at my local comic book shop, so I went ahead and picked this one up too. But yeah, dude, Deceased is pretty good. Deceased is pretty good. I like this one. Pretty good series. I don't read a whole lot of DC, but I have been reading. Like I said, I've been reading. I read Deceased. I've got the new series is getting ready to start up too. I think next week. Issue number 1 comes out of the new Deceased series, and then I did also. I've also on DC. I've been reading, like I said earlier, the Justice League and Hawkman as well. Good stuff. Zombie Joker cover is fire. Yeah, it is, dude. It is, man. I love that. I love those zombie covers when I seen them. So I told them to put those ones on my pull list for the zombie covers. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I'm not sure I'm not sure if this is worth anything, but it's an old comic I had from when I was a kid. Like one of the few DC comics I had from when I was a kid. But this one right here got this Man of Steel. I don't think it's really worth much though. And this one's it's not like in super bad condition or anything, but I don't think this issue is probably worth like a whole lot anyway. But yeah, I got the Man of Steel. Got that Man of Steel book, man. Um, yeah, I don't have a whole lot of other ones from when I was a kid that are DC or anything. I got this one too. The Uncanny X-Men and the New Teen Titans. It's in like the worst condition ever though. It's in terrible condition. But yeah, I got that. I think in like in Marvel stuff, I've got some older Marvel stuff. In those ones, as far as those are concerned, I've got older books in Marvel titles. Let me see. I know I've got some older like Thor books. Probably some Iron Mans. Some Captain Americas. I got some Web of Spider-Man. I've got. I think I've got like 2 or 3 of the old Peter Porker Spider-Ham series.
Sorry, I can't search what something is about, but I can search by title.
Oh, be quiet. Nobody called you. But yeah. Let's see. Okay. What did you do Friday night? Watch Trinity's show. He show literally every comic he owns on a stream. I know. I know. You know what it is because I nerded out and started talking about comic books. Nerded out and started talking about comic books. Yeah, but that's because that's what it is. Like you can like we can see here just digging through my long box here that has the independent comic books in it. We got plenty of comic books here that show that you can start a new series, you can start a new story, and create something that's your own, that's unique, that is telling its own story that you can go out there and tell people about and tell them that this is what it's about without having to change somebody else's character, any of these pre-existing characters and things like that have these legacies to them that people hold near and dear to their hearts. I think this is more the bigger problem when we see kind of this hijacking of these cultures that we see going on out there. A lot of people talk about this culture war going on out there, and if you whether you feel that's real or not is completely up to you as far as that's concerned. But there is this kind of wrestling going on with this because when it comes to things like your DCs and your Marvels, these are big platforms, huge platforms where people go to read their comic books, to read superheroes and things like that, where they take their kids to and they want to read these comic books, or they want to take their kids to these comic book movies, and that's one of the things I was talking about like this morning with they've pretty much got admitted that now we're gonna be getting the first the first gay kiss in the MCU, and whether you like it or not, it's a big deal. You know what I mean? It's a big deal to everybody, whether you like it or whether you don't. You know what I mean? It's a big deal. It's because those that like it, want to see that on screen, that representation, if you will. It's a big deal. If you don't want to see that on screen, it's a big deal, right? It is. It is. What were you watching? Ryan, thank you so much for being here. Dude, guys, if you haven't seen What Were You Watching's channel, you got to go check out his channel. He's right here in the comments section. Go check out What Were You Watching's channel. He just dropped a video the other day reviewing He-Man. What was it? He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. I didn't get to watch all of it. I watched about the first 5 minutes and then I downloaded it. I had to go to work. But dude, guys, go check it out. Go check it out because it's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. That video he did, I guarantee you, it's gonna be well worth your 25 minutes because he's very creative, does hilarious reviews, and just guys, just go click his link right now. click go to channel and then go watch his video. It's his latest video he put up. Great stuff, man. Great stuff. Lethal Lightning says, just go see it in China. There won't be no gay kiss in that country. Why don't you go see it in China, Lethal Lightning? You're closer. I'm pretty sure you are anyway. Pretty sure you're closer. Fanjexter says, what were you watching? Check out now. Yes, go to What Were You Watching's channel and go check it out. LB says, we don't want to see two men kissing. But then making it seem so important and monumental, so all the little male liking boys can grow up and become men liking superheroes. Just is just the best life ever. Right, yeah, and that's the thing. Like it doesn't belong in there. And that's something I was talking about this morning. We barely see Tony and Pepper Potts kiss in the MCU. Why do we need to see anybody else kiss in the MCU for? We barely see them kiss in the MCU. You know what I mean? Like we just, I don't know, but that's what I said. It's really a big deal to everybody if you think about it. It's a big deal. It's gonna be a big deal to everybody. The gay is infected with coronavirus. Oh man, you guys are just being bad now. Oh, so the trolls left and now we got the real trolls, huh? No, but that's true. I mean, like I said, like if I'm going to see a movie that is like about that, centered about talking about that, like gay relationships and whatnot, I expect to see that in that movie. When I go to see a Marvel Studios movie, an MCU movie, I don't expect to see that in there. I'm not saying that they can't do it or that they can't do it. It might not even be a big deal. Like I said, maybe it's like that kiss they did in Star Wars. Don't act like you didn't see it. We all seen it. Don't act like that didn't happen. If it's something like that, I mean, whatever, because it's just like a little passing by or whatever. But the thing is like, do you still have to do it? Does it still have to be done? It doesn't have to be done. Like, like I said, we barely see Tony Stark and Pepper Potts kiss in the MCU. Now all of a sudden we're, like, we barely see Steve Rogers kiss Peggy Carter. You know what I mean? Remember how big of a deal it was when he kissed the other Carter? Not Peggy, but Sharon Carter. Remember when he kissed her? It was all kind of a big deal. It was. Ooh. And then remember when he kissed Black Widow? Oh, but they were acting, right? They was acting. They was just playing. Oh man, how about they do superhero stuff instead of making out? Yeah, exactly, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying this morning. Is when I go to see that movie, I just want to. I'm just there to see like action and the drama building up to it and all that stuff. Like I'm not there to. I don't even want to see love scenes in it. Save your love scenes for James Bond. I know that's gonna happen in James Bond's movie. I know he's gonna go get laid. That's James Bond. I don't need to see Xerxes getting laid. You know what I mean? Cersei? It's Cersei. It's one of the Eternals. Cersei. Because if we're talking about Xerxes, like from 300, chances are in that world that probably would have happened. Probably would have seen that. LB says at Second Street Marvel, exactly. We ain't had a sex scene since Iron Man. Like, why relationships so important? Right. Yeah, and you know what? Then it wasn't even really a sex scene. I mean, they didn't even really. I mean, yeah, they didn't even really do anything. I mean, I guess, yeah, I guess they kind of did. I don't know. They did. I mean, close enough. You're right though. But you know what? That wasn't Disney. Relationships are gay. Lethal Lightning says, I totally forgot Mystique is a lesbian until I read the new X-Men. Yeah, right. Yeah, me too. Oh man, I know. I just said me too. I know Lethal Lightning's gonna completely run with that one. But I completely forgot about that too. And man, that was a great book too. It was such a good book, man. Raven McCoy, dude, she's like, dude, I don't even know why she tried to play that game. You know what I mean? She should have knew better than to play that game. Wookiee Supremacy says Blue Jennifer Lawrence getting getting Daiki. Blue Jennifer Lawrence getting Daiki. I'm sold. Oh man, oh hilarious, dude, hilarious. Um, Fanject says, "Come on, man, we definitely saw Tony and Pepper kiss, and Tony banging some random chick. We saw Cap kiss some random dude, and Peggy walked in. Some oh well, I get okay, like." We, Tony and the chick that was only in the first one. That was only and that one was like the first one that launched off the him. Okay, there is that one. But then what I'm saying is we did see Tony and Pepper kiss. But what I'm saying is it's not ever like a big deal, and it rarely ever actually happens. You know what I mean? We rarely ever see that. We rarely ever see relationships in that light in these movies. And the cap kiss with the random chick. The cap kiss with the random chick was she came on to him. He was totally unsuspecting of that. Do you not remember him trying to explain that to Peggy Carter? Do you not remember that? He was even trying to explain it. He chased her down. He was trying to. Don't you remember? She shot him. Remember, she shot him with the gun and the shield, and she said it works. Hail Hydra. The Starks are shams. We saw Thor and Jane kissing all the time. Good, okay, but they broke up. Yeah, you good. Okay, all right. You got me. You got me. We saw Gamora and Star. Okay, all right, all right, all right. You get all right. You got. But and the thing is I guess it never really makes that big of a difference. Like it's usually in those points, you know, like when he's saving her or something, you know, and stuff like that. But you know, I guess you're right. You're right. But I guess again, it's nothing that's ever a big deal. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. Like in the movie, is it a big deal? You know, I mean, it is a big deal. You know, the people that want to see it, it's a big deal. The people that don't want to see it, it's a big deal. But I guess what the thing is, it's never really a focus. I guess that's most of my actual point from what I'm saying is it's never a big deal when we see it. You know what I mean? It's not like hyper emphasized or something. We're like whoa, you know, anything like that. So yeah, no, you're right. You're right, Fanjex. You got me. You got me. You got me, dude. You got me. Speaking of which, if you guys haven't subscribed to Fanjex, you should. You should go. You go subscribe to his channel. Terrazon says, my son's friend is sending him pics of naked girls. See y'all, gotta go kick a kid's ass. Oh, man. Dang, man. Yeah, you gotta be careful these days, man. Social media and all that kinds of stuff, dude. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. But yeah, good point, Fanjexer. We saw Black Panther. Okay, good point. We gotcha. TT says, I still can't believe they made Hela into Thor and Loki's older sister. Yeah, see, and that stuff right there, that's part of the lore I don't know enough about. Even in the older comic books I do have, I haven't read a lot of Thor and really know those roots or origins very well. So yeah. But I'll certainly take your word for it. Gratuitous sex scenes went out in the 80s. It seems like it. It seems like they did. But yeah, take it easy, Tara. Not on your son or his friend, but you know, yeah, I think you know what I mean. Take it easy. There's so much straight kissing in Marvel movies. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right, Fanjexer. Okay, I'm gonna you win this one, Fanjexer. You're right. You're right. Are we gonna is that gonna be the next bracket? Is that gonna be the next bracket? That's straight. All right, we got you. We got. Ooh, you know what? You know what it is? I think Fanjexer is just wanting to see Stucky. I think Fanjexer is just wanting to see Stucky. But yes, he goes, Wookiee Supremacy says, remember all those ridiculous 80s movies sex scenes? With no titties, I might add lame. Oh man, that's funny. TT says, I don't want to see relationships in superhero movies when the fate of the city or the world is at stake. The drop dead last thing I want to see is two idiots arguing about who says I love you first. Right, absolutely, TT. And I guess and that's the ultimate thing is like and you know and that argument really kind of goes both ways. Like for one, like I don't really want to see it. It's like to me it's like whatever. But at the same time. Um, yeah, that's the last thing I want to see. Like, the fate of the world is at hand. We want to sit there and watch. If I wanted to watch a rom com, I'd go watch a rom com. You know what I mean? I mean, is that what niche this one's gonna be in? Because we know that Marvel likes to make, I guess you could say, genre flicks. Because like we got this like the spy espionage with Captain America, Winter Soldier. We got like the funny adventure movie with the Ant-Man movies, which are like romancing the stone. Kind of like that. And then yeah, I mean maybe that's what maybe that's what Trump's gonna be. Oh man, dang. Dang, but yeah, you're right. I mean, that's the last thing I want to see. Is I don't want to see that. Just like when I'm watching a superhero movie, I honestly just want to like even though you're right here, Fanjexter, even though you're right, even with like the Tony kissing Pepper, even those scenes, they can beat it too. I don't want to see that. I want to see the movie moving forward. I want to see it escalate. I want to see some action. I want to see some drama. I'm not worried about the relationship side of it. Like I get it. Okay, yeah, they're in a relationship. Cool, great. Like, can we get on with the movie? That's what it is. It doesn't need to be there. I guess that's really what it is. It doesn't need to be there. I mean, it doesn't even need to be there in the heterosexual case. In that sense, people who think their lives, who people who base their lives and identity completely on their genitals are the ones who think this is a big deal. Yeah, for the most part. When you go to their Twitter, they have all the he's, hims, hers, and who ha's and all that stuff. I don't know, man. Young Whipper 59, what's up, man? How you doing? He says, "What the fook is up? How you doing?" We have a celebrity in the house. Young Ripper 59, man. How you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. I'm assuming you've been staying pretty busy. Staying pretty busy. Haven't been doing the live streams as much, man. But I'm assuming it's because you're getting busy, getting ready for your move and everything. Gonna be moving into the new studio and stuff very soon. Yeah, man. And I think there was one of the streams that you did. For some reason I didn't get a notification on it. I didn't get a chance to go back and watch. But yeah, man, we gotta get together again sometime soon too, man. Talk about some more stuff going on out there. Some more things. Fanjack says, "Oh shit, we have a celeb in here." Yeah, right. Yep, Young Rippa in the house, man. Awesome. Hope you're having a good night, man. Hope you're all having a good night. TT says, in the mythology and in the comics, Hela is Loki's daughter, and Hela's mother was a frost giant. The jokes we could have gotten from that alone would have been huge. Okay, yeah. Yeah, again, some of the stuff I don't know because I don't really know a whole lot of the lore of those particular characters. So, yeah. Fanjexter says, dude, I laughed so hard at that bracket comment. Right, yeah. We're going to rank the hetero kisses in the MCU one. Young Ripper says, hello all. Fanjexter says, no, I don't. No, I don't want to see Stucky. Okay, thank you. At least you don't want to see Stucky. That could get bad real quick. Max Santiago says the best relation is Reed and Sue Richards. Oh yeah, in the comics, yeah, Marvel's first family, man. Yeah, definitely. The relationship between Hela and her father Loki could have mirrored many parts of Loki's relationship with Odin. Oh yeah, definitely. If that's the case, definitely. Ryan. Oh yeah, okay. Ryan's saying what's up. The sentence says toaster are my pronouns. Respect my pronouns. Okay, toaster. Oh man, that's hilarious. You guys are. Wookiee Supremacy says I remember being annoyed with Spider-Man having a girlfriend when I was little. Remember. All right, she was such a pill. Okay, are you talking about Mary Jane? Yeah, are you talking about Mary Jane or are you talking about Gwen? And I still haven't got a chance to read. That's one of the ones that came out this week. I was actually looking forward to reading this week was that Gwen Stacy book. I was actually looking forward to reading that one today because I was actually looking forward to reading that because it's funny. It's funny. And here's the thing. Here's the thing with like so many of these comic books, and this is like some of the storytelling, and that's what like why I've been getting more into a lot of the indies is that better storytelling is lately when it comes out, and that's why I'm interested in reading this. Is in case you guys didn't receive my last review on Mary Jane, the Amazing Mary Jane, I think it was issue number 3, issue number 4. Once again, Leah Williams has actually wrote another good book here. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting there thinking like, dude, it's sad. It's a sad day at Marvel when I'm actually looking more forward to reading the next Mary Jane than I am the next Captain America. Than I am the next Amazing Spider-Man. You know, it's pretty sad when the next one I'm looking forward to is the Amazing Mary Jane issue number, I think it's 5, getting ready to come out this week. You know, that's actually big. You know, I mean, not all of them are Thor. You know, Thor is a good one. You know, these X titles have been good, but that's what it is, and that's why I'm interested to read this. I'm like, and I think this one is only a 5-issue miniseries, but the thing is like, can they write and tell a good story here? You know what I mean, with this side character that doesn't even have superpowers. You know, and don't start. You know, I know somebody out there's gonna be like, "Oh, well, she's Spider Gwen. You got the poster right there on her wall." But you know the point I'm making here in the 616, which she right now she's jumping back and forth into the 616. Oh man, don't even get me started now, guys. But the point is, it's sad. That's why I want to read this one, because I want to see if it's good. Because it's sad when I actually look forward to wanting to read The Amazing Mary Jane over the next Captain America, over the next Amazing Spider-Man, over the next. I mean, what else? I mean, what else have I been pulling? I think those are the big ones. Captain Marvel, you know, Captain Marvel is not one to be really looked forward to anyway. You know, I guess look forward to something hopefully good happening in it. But like, how's this one measure up to him? Is this going to be another one of those ones where I read 5 issues? I'm like, how is it you can write this book good but not something else? You know, how come you can't give me a great Captain America book? Like, Captain America's been okay, but like the story is so slow moving. You know, it's slow moving. You need something like like bigger scale. It's moving faster. That's like actually doing something and really sucks me in and wants me helps me want to read the next issue. Where a lot of a lot of these books these days, it's like, okay, well, I read the book. I'll read the next. I'll read the next Amazing Spider-Man. It's Amazing Spider-Man, right? It's on my pull list. I'm gonna read it. And that's the thing is, that's why I've been getting into the more of the indies lately, because the indies, the indies tell those stories, because you got the person telling and building their own world, and I think it's better in that sense. But anyway, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Let's see. Wookiee Supremacy says Gwen was okay. I guess, but Mary Jane was a nightmare. All right. And you know what's funny, Wookiee, is because like right now, I'm telling you that Amazing Mary Jane series, it's freaking great. It's a great series. It's ridiculous. It's so like, and that's the thing. It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous that at Marvel, the Amazing Mary Jane is actually a great title they're putting out, and it's just a character with no powers. She's an actress in Hollywood shooting a movie. That's all she is. She's just an actress in Hollywood shooting a movie with Mysterio. That's directing. That's it. That's all that's happening in the. But it's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's sad. That's sad. But I mean, it's good. It's good for Amazing Mary Jane. It's good for Leah Williams. It's good for Marvel. In that sense, but it's sad that the rest of the titles don't have me wanting to read the next one like that does. A movie of a comic book on Marvel Comics that's not even about a superhero. That's about a regular old woman with no superpowers. She's just an actress. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Tell me that doesn't sound ridiculous. Tell me that doesn't sound ridiculous. Okay, super chats tonight. We've got $17, guys. Thank you so much. But you know what? I was going to say, there's links down in the description where you can always send direct donations via Streamlabs. And those direct donations, we'll use towards, what I was talking about earlier. We'll go back there and we'll check out one of those books from one of those independent creators. No, you didn't, says Wookiee Supremacy. What happened? What happened? Oh, man. Are they back? Are they back? Oh, man. What's going on with people, dude? Boring. Bored people, dude. Mike Fouts says, Cypress Hill, I Love You, Mary Jane plays in the background. Van Jexter says, "You covered so much stuff tonight. I actually took notes." TT says, "What happened to that J.J. Abrams son comic that J.J. Abrams' son wrote? The one where he killed Mary Jane." You know what's funny about that is like 2 issues came out. I think it took a month off. Issue 3 came out, and then I think it's taken another month off. I don't know. Issue 4 and 5 will come out sometime soon. Sometime it'll come out. Yeah, and that's the weird thing, and that's funny too, because that's one thing that like if you go watch your boy Zach, one thing he always laughs about is because like Marvel forgets about their own hero or their own stories, their own events. They forget about them. You know, they start off. Like with Absolute Carnage, but then they forget about it, and they forget they were doing that book. Like, oh, Absolute Carnage, oh, like, you gotta go watch it. You gotta go watch your boy Zach break it down, cause that dude freaking cracks me up, man. He does. If you guys don't watch your boy Zach, dude, like, you're missing some hilarious stuff. Fanjector says, oh, okay. Let's see. The one where, yeah, that's the one. Wookiee Supremacy got that delete trigger finger ready, man. Yeah, I know he's on it, man. Good deal. Max Santiago says Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil is lit. And that's what I've heard too. I've heard a lot of people saying that Daredevil is really good. I haven't read any of it, and I don't doubt it though neither, because Chip Zdarsky, he's a good writer. The stuff that I've written, that I've read, that he has written, is really good. I've got a whole lot of reviews, guys, that I want to get up. Get up. I'm getting caught up on some comic books. I'm finally getting caught up on Savage Avengers, and I want to talk about that because they just did a book last week. A book just came out this week, but a book came out last week as well. That was Savage Avengers issue 0. It was actually just a reprint. It was basically like a True Believers issue with a couple of extra pages tacked in. That has some stuff to do with what's going on in Savage Avengers, as well as the X world with the mutants on Krakoa and Doctor Strange, and some things going on there. So I want to get into that. So I just need to do a little bit more catching up to get there. But I've got a lot of stuff I need to get caught up on. If there's any particular books, mostly Marvel is what I read for the most part. Like I said, I have been reading a few DC titles. If there's any of those you guys want me to do reviews on, let me know. Go watch my comic book pull lists. Any of those you guys want to see, let me know what you want to see reviews on. Max Santiago, make sure you go watch my comic book pull list from this week. And yeah, and guys, anybody, go make sure you watch the comic book pull list. It just dropped on the channel this morning. I premiere those over on Facebook, trying to do something for Facebook people over there. And guys, I'm going to be doing more streaming over on Facebook for some certain stuff, certain content and things like that. I'm going to be available over on Facebook. So make sure you guys go follow me over there. Because yeah, some of the stuff you might not want to miss. Let me tell you. And I'm going to do some of that stuff over there because I don't want to flood my channel with all kinds of different style of contents, the stuff that's maybe not necessarily shouldn't be over here, that I don't want over here and whatnot, things like that. I don't know. But yeah. So make sure you look forward to that, guys. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go here to see if I can get to sleep here at a decent time, and get out for a bike ride early tomorrow. Get some comic books read, and then I'm gonna be doing the comic book show tomorrow with Chris from Chaos and Comics and Dylan from Dylan's Comic Book Rants. We're going to get together and talk about some comic books. And don't forget, guys, this Sunday, if you guys like music, you guys like metal music especially, I'm more of a metalhead myself, we're going to be doing the 1 hour music live stream on Sunday, probably around noon, about 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hopefully this Sunday, my good friend Kevin will be able to make it onto the show. We're going to have a great hour talking about music. And if you guys have any questions, any things you guys want us to talk about during any of those shows, please let us know, especially the hour music one, because we're just getting it started. And I want to grow that into something bigger, man. I want you guys to be a part of that. because you know what? Like, I'm sure you guys like music. I know I do. Like I said, I'm mostly a metalhead, but even my good friend Kevin, he likes some of the more stuff than just metal, just like myself. He has different tastes out there as well, and we'll talk about all of those things. And as a matter of fact, he's got a lot of tastes, especially when it even comes to different genres of metal music, rock music, and just different styles out there. Man, you should see the dude's comic collect or his CD collection. Like, you know how big this wall is? Like, you can't even see it all. Like how like my wall, like it's like my wall there. um he's got like that, like covered in CDs, probably more, probably bigger than that wall, covered in just fucking CDs, dude. Crazy, crazy. But yeah, guys, make sure you check out the comic stream tomorrow. We're going to talk about some comic books. I want to see if I can get caught up on some more comics, do some more comic book reviews for you guys. With the Marvel comics, I don't really drop a whole lot of videos on reviews on the Marvel comics, except for the ones that I don't know. I guess I feel like are going to hit. I don't know. I don't know. I mostly like to highlight indie comics books because I feel these are the ones that most people don't talk about enough, that I feel actually need to be talked about more. I would rather you guys go out to your local comic book shop and pick up an independent comic book, something that I suggest, rather than you go check out, the new Thor or the new X-Men or something like that. I'd rather you go out to your local comic book shop and pick up The Plot, issue number 1, or The Mall. I'd rather you go pick that up. I'd rather you go and pick up. God, what was the other one? Do I have it here? Go pick up Shapes. You know what I mean? It's a good book. If you have younger readers, go pick that up. Go pick up a good independent book. I'd rather you go pick up a good independent book rather than one of these other books. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to say that Marvel and DC don't have good titles, but go pick up something like A Plot. You want a good horror story? Go pick that up. You want something that's a little smuttier? Go pick up Money Shot. Or go pick up Lady Death on Coffin Comics. Or, all kinds of different ones that are good ones that you could check out. Mad Max the Mandalorian, what is up, my brother? How are you doing? Wookiee Supremacy says, Second Street needs a P.O. box so I can send him weird shit. I was going to say, I'd send you my home address. I'm not going to post it here on YouTube, though, bro. It's Friday. It's Friday. You ain't got no job. I'm getting you stoned. All right. But yeah, guys, thank you all so much for being here tonight, guys. Thank you. I do greatly appreciate it. Thank you for everybody who sent in super chats. We got $17 in super chats today. Let's go ahead and see what were all of those. Did they even all show up on here? Let's see. What were all of these? The super chats we got today were. Here we go. The first one we got here was Perry Comics, donated $2 and says, this Second Street guy isn't half bad. Let's see, what else? What was the other one we got here? James says, I want a wrench, damn it. Let's see, who else? Snowdub sent in $2. Got the next round. Shots. Let's see. What else? Fanjecture sent in $2. Says, if you want to guess, shoot me a StreamYard link. Yeah, sorry, man, we didn't get to that. Hopefully next time. Let's see. TK Notapost sent in a $10 super chat. Said, good insight tonight on the changing of the legacy characters versus the creation of original characters. Yes, and I believe that's a big one. But yeah, thank you guys all so much for the super chats. I do greatly appreciate that. I hope you're all having a good night. I hope you all have a good weekend. I hope you guys all tune in tomorrow for the Saturday comic book chat. I hope you all tune in for the music chat as well. Like I said, I'm hoping my good friend Kevin will be able to make it on with us. That is guaranteed to be a good time if he does. And I can guarantee you, if he shows up and you guys get to know Kevin, like, dude, the show's gonna fucking pop off because he knows his shit. He's really good with the music. I'm telling you, has a wide variety of music that he loves. So, anyway, guys, says, you doing any late night streams tonight? Oh, not tonight? All right. Come to my channel if you want a ranch mod squad. That's funny. But anyway, guys, yeah, you guys all have a good rest of your night. We'll see you all the next time on the Trailer Park Live. We'll see you tomorrow on the Saturday Comic Book Show and on Sunday. Later.